Hello Commanders, Pro-Tah-Zzioh here, back with a new video. This time we're featuring a 2v2 battle in the Sandbox version. It's not actually a 2v2 battle since my ally would leave me just at the first second of the game. But I still wanted to test my limits, so I continued the game. So usual opening, 3 barracks, and then I produce tons of riflemen as well as coyotes for container collection, both for the small and the big one. And then I try to rush my buildings or upgrade my buildings in order to at least gain a solid foothold on trying to defend from the imminent threat of the enemy. So what I did is I produced air units, avia, hawks and dragonflies to defend, along with a wasp. And then I produced tons of defenses, gun towers, mammoths, jaguars, and sniper towers. I also put up a couple of air defenses to defend against that seraphim. I try to micro my hawks since there's a ton of air defenses just waiting in front of my base, and I quickly picked that seraphim out of the map. So here comes the blue player trying to rush me with a ton of units, hammers, Zeus, heavy assaults, you name it, he got it. So I'll be able to defend with the hawks here along with a gold defense, and I immediately rushed up to HQ4 since my plan was to get Leviathan as early as possible, since that's gonna be my only hope in defending from this attack. As you can see, the blue player tries to take out my buildings, but since everything is maxed out in the sandbox, my buildings won't fall that easily. So comes Wasp trying to be annoying, using the skill to soften those units up so that the Zeus take more damage. And here comes the devastation skill from Leviathan, which will help in killing those Zeus or pushing the advance of the blue player back. So I was able to successfully defend at that time. Good thing that the green player, who was trying to do a building rush or to shorten the zone or the scope of the map that I can move out to, but I didn't really plan to move out until I have a pretty good army to attack and defend with. So Leviathan here, I was trying to get in range to drop that devastation skill on those defensive buildings of the green player, but the Leviathan was immediately spotted by the air defenses. So a little micro here from the hawk, trying to be annoying, but I'm not really gonna destroy any buildings. I just wanted to see the general build of the green player. So looks like he's not planning on attacking anytime soon, since he's got his units clumped up alongside those defenses. In comes Seraphim taking out my wasp, and I drop the devastation skill of the Leviathan right in the middle of those defensive buildings. I come in with my Jaguar and Chameleon to destroy the Zeus and some of those defensive buildings. Luckily, the blue player wasn't coordinating with the green player, because he could have easily attacked me on the left side or outflank my units and destroy my base easily. So a bit of micro, I try to place my Jaguars just outside the range of those defenses while my Chameleon fog is active, and I try to pick away from any units trying to get near with the Jaguars. So I have a ton of mammoths at the back, which are causing devastating damage against those buildings from afar. It's gonna be a very slow push, but I'll be able to break through those defenses. So slowly I'm trying to advance, but here comes the blue player realizing that he could have come sooner. I have a few units to defend with on the left side of my base, so I leave my Jaguars to defend there. I also have a gun tower, and the Leviathan would be able to drop the devastation skill just before the Zeus's could get away. So I tried to make my Leviathan go back a bit, but it's gonna be destroyed since there's just way too many enemies. So Leviathan down, and I'm only relying on mammoths, Jaguars, and Chameleon to defend my base. If they coordinated with the attack, my base and my units would be destroyed. So Chameleon slowly running out of energy, so what I'm doing is I'm only activating one Chameleon at a time to cover those Jaguars. So Jaguars trying to still push an attack on those green defensive buildings, but I'm gonna need some help defending the left side, so I decide to pull them back. I still have tons of mammoths to defend with, so I rely on those to attack the Zeus, both the green and the blue players. So Typhoon, trying to be heroic, go inside my base, but it's not really gonna do anything since I don't have any air units anymore. And then I continue to produce mammoths since there's a mountain just right in front of my base, which I can use to hide the mammoths behind. So mammoths still firing at all those units. So it's all about proper positioning in this game. If in any case, if I mispositioned my units, they would have been butchered by those Zeus. So those Zeus are really tough. It takes a lot of hits before they succumb to their deaths. Blue player also has torrents to match those mammoths, but I just have way too many mammoths that's already positioned at the back of that mountain, along with a Chameleon to conceal them. So I still continue producing units, dragonflies, and mammoths, Jaguars, so I'll be able to push back the attacking blue and green player. This time I'm not gonna contest that big container anymore since I'll be out of position. So it looks like we're successful in defending against the attack of the green and the blue player. As you can see, those torrents are left unprotected, so the Jaguar tries to kill them, but luckily the blue player still had a few Zeus left to kill that Jaguar. So from what I've observed, the torrent salvo is not that accurate anymore. It's much more spread out, unlike in the main version. If you get hit by that torrent salvo, you can say goodbye to your Jaguars and Chameleons even if you have the fog activated. So that blue player still tries to chip away at the buildings exposed on the left side, but I still continue to produce Jaguars to defend and those mammoths behind the mountain. are still able to freely attack those Zeus and those torrents. So the green player tries to help by sending Zeuses on the right portion, but the mammoths are just destroying them. Whenever a Zeus comes in, it gets destroyed by a mammoth. So it looks like the blue player is not in the mood to force fire into the fog, which was actually crucial. He could have destroyed my units since they never moved away from the fog or from those from the spot where they are at, and he could have easily trimmed my defending units down. Seraphim here trying to destroy those units or the mammoth, but he will be killed by the air defenses since I activated the gold anti-air boost. So I still continue to micro with those chameleons, switching the fog that's activated from one chameleon to the other, so that I don't activate them all the time and I don't waste their energy. So I'll have a pretty good reserve of chameleon fog whenever one depletes their energy. So as you can see here, blue player still tries to push with the Zeus, but now retreats and just leaves a torrent firing at the whatever units I have there. So green player here doesn't want to attack or force fire into the fog as well, which works to my advantage. So a few remaining units there that got cleaned up by the mammoths. So the mammoths really are a champion in this game, given that they are able to sweep any units that the opposing players had. So now that the blue player had retreated, I went ahead and attacked the green player's base, but realizing this, he moves in to attack my base again. And what I do here is I leave the Jaguars and the Chameleons to continue pushing the green player's base. Looks like he just spent a ton of resources on that Solaris only to get destroyed by the Mammoths, Jaguars, and by the Leviathan. So blue player trying to capitalize the moment while my units were out of position, but I don't stop producing units in order to defend my base. So I pull back my mammoths. Some of them got killed because one of the chameleons were out of position, and they got exposed on that Zeus cannon. So blue player now tries to engage those mammoths in the north of my base, and the Leviathan is defending against all these units. So this is the power of the Leviathan. It's really reliable if you're able to position it effectively. As you can see, even without that much units here to support the Leviathan, it was able to clean up the Zeuses that were able to get inside my base. So devastation skill dropping on those cluster of Zeus, chipping away their HP. So another Solaris was produced, which will immediately fall down from the number of Jaguars that were already positioned to attack any buildings or any defending units. Thing here is that the blue player was not able to destroy any of my military buildings, such as that special vehicle factory, as well as those 2 level 3 assault vehicle factories, which was able to continuously produce Jaguars to defend the base. So torrents trying to be annoying, but they won't be able to do that much given that the units are spread out. So torrent fire or artillery fire wouldn't really be that much of a problem. Jaguar still continuing to push on the green player's base. In comes the Wasp to support the Leviathan, and I am able to successfully successfully defend the blue player's advances. Looks like he didn't opt for a shield generator, causing his Zeus to easily die from the Leviathan and from the Jaguars. So green player tries to get a Cerberus here to defend his base. So what I do is I move my Leviathan and my Wasp to destroy whatever is remaining in his base, or the remnants of his base. So blue player tries to capitalize that again, but I already have a Chameleon Mammoth army that's ready to engage him in my base, causing all his units to again die. So now that the green player is out, or is out of commission, I decide to leave a few units in his area, or in his base area, so that if he decides to rebuild, I can easily destroy him. So I'm positioning my units up the hill, since that's gonna be advantageous on my end. Artillery fire is really effective when you're up the hill versus trying to fight against it when you're down the hill. First reason is that you'll be able to see the enemy before they see you, so you'll be able to fire at them before they fire at you. So Leviathan here taking most of the brunt of the damage, and then in comes the Chameleon, Jaguar, Mammoth from the back that's raining fire on the blue player's base. If only the blue player opted for Avia, Seraphim, Cyclones, Thor's, Vertex, it would have been a harder battle. That would have put me at a worse spot, since I have to defend against two types of units at the same time. But given that they opted for both Zeus to attack me, I was easily able to put a cluster of units of mammoths, position them at the back of a mountain so that they won't be directly exposed to enemy fire, and then micro the usage of the Chameleon energy, activating them one at a time, making it look like the Chameleon doesn't run out of energy at all. So since the green player is not rebuilding anymore, I go in for the kill on this blue player. I sweep in with the Leviathan, the Jaguars, the Mammoths, double tap them so that they immediately siege up when the buildings are in their firing range. So that there is the power of the resistance, along with the Leviathan and Chameleons, Jaguars, and Mammoths. Thanks for watching my video. Hope you leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment as well if you enjoyed the battle, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Good luck out there in the battlefield.